photo here at the bottom right corner, that would be the panorama you see from the campus. So we have old town of Riga city, which would be this one here. And then on the other side of the river, that's our campus. It's an island called Kipsela, and that's where we have all the facilities, dorms, faculty buildings, lab houses, the sports facilities, everything would be there. The RTU, we are a government university and established in 1862. So this year, only actually last week, 1st of July, we had a massive party, 160 years. Which was as well the grand graduation ceremony for all students who finished their bachelor, master, or doctoral studies this year. So kind of a big event from all faculties. We have 9 faculties, students coming together. They get their degree certificates, musicians here, then as well the Latvian MP was there, and sort of they made it big event out of that. And in numbers here, I already mentioned that, but here we have 57 degrees which we offer in English for bachelors, for masters, and for doctoral students. A degree certificate is internationally recognized, and for Americans as well, we are approved by GI Bill benefits. So any ex-army, which we already have had here, veterinary affairs, they receive the scholarships. So they can come and study here at the RTU after they've done their military service, and they get the degree from here. I can provide later on, there is a registration number given by the Veteran Affairs. So that approval we've got here as well, which could be a bit of encouragement for the American students that someone from US has assessed us, that it's not something, you know, entirely unknown, and God knows which language they speak there. We get that a lot. And
Zane, can I ask that question? Is that VA approval a typical? Is that fairly standard for widely accredited universities in Europe of the kind of RTU, or is that a pretty unique benefit? And
that's pretty unique. I actually don't know any of other of my colleagues who've put an effort in to apply for that approval. For some reason we did that, and we have had American students coming here for that particular reason as well, because you know yourselves, many of them are based in Europe as well, and in Germany, and now they're more and more actually stationed in Baltics as well, because the reasons we all know. And yeah, that can be used as well. As for the faculties, then we offer most, that would be engineering, whether civil, IT, e-learning. Then we have faculty economics and management as well, electronics, telecommunications, power, electrical engineering, material science, applied chemistry, mechanical engineering, transport, and aeronautical engineering. And for
Zane,
bachelor's,
I apologize for continuing to interrupt, but you have
no worries,
so many interesting points, and you may cover this later in your presentation. But for American students who are interested, maybe in dipping their toe into RTU and your educational programs, do you all offer a way for some kind of remote learning for a semester for students to get started, or is that not an option? With your courses of study, some kind of remote, in-person, later hybrid?
Before, well, if you'd asked me that question in 2019, I would say now it's not possible, because everything was on campus and we didn't do anything remotely. Obviously, since 2020, we've been doing a lot remotely, and some of that remained remotely. But how it's gonna be, and as of September, it's been said that everything's gonna be on campus, and except for the faculty of economics, the rest of them don't really wanna keep the hybrid or have something remotely, something on campus, even though faculty of IT as well, like they've been running their courses remotely online. It could be that some of the faculties actually will maintain the remote studies and will have some kind of hybrid when it will come to the labs and the practicals will they need to do here on campus. I don't know that yet because I can't guarantee that it's going to be fully remotely. But some of them I think will remain because the professors prefer remote, as well as the students who are working, especially master students, they find they prefer remote studies as well.
I see, but
yeah,
you all don't have anything formal planned at the present
formal
time.
planned at the moment, no. We'll yeah, see like how this September gonna start, and then some of the faculties may suggest that they from then on like like to keep some part of the program remotely, and then of course it will be officially confirmed. But as of now, all the studies are supposed to be on campus.
Okay, thank you.
And then as for the degrees, then various different bachelor degrees. As for the tuition fee, then for the bachelors, that would be in a range of 3,000 euros per one study year. So let's say the student budget in Riga, your tuition fees, accommodation, food, roughly around 10,000 euros per year. And all students as well, they are allowed to work. Bachelor students, you can work part-time 20 hours per week, and master students as well, they can work without restrictions. So that's 40 hours per week, as long as that doesn't interfere with their studies. So
just to understand and foot stop that point though, you're saying you anticipate all in, including cost of living and that that the annual costs to a student are about 10,000 euro, which is quite economical.
Yes, and that's sort of the estimate as well, the feedback we get from the students as well. Our immigration authorities would ask the bank statement of 6,000 euros for students to receive their resident permit, because American students as well, if they're here on full-time basis, they would need to have their student resident permit. And then for that purpose as well, the bank statement would be required, and that's 6,000. Then your tuition would be 3,000. And obviously it will depend upon your spending habits, because Riga can be expensive as well. But yeah, normally the students, they can, yeah, they don't spend
that's
much.
remarkable, Richard. I'm sure you'll agree that since the euro and the dollar are almost equivalent at this point,
Exactly.
that's a
About
fantastically
10,300 US
economical
dollars
course of
right
study.
now.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Richard, go ahead.
I was just saying, I mean, based on current exchange rates, that's about $10,300. So I mean, it is remarkable.
Well, I think your US tuition fee is 30 or 40,000 alone.
Yeah,
Plus
yeah.
you still need to live, even whether you are in US or elsewhere, you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And when you, as you mentioned, needing to live, is it at RTU, or is there sort of on-campus accommodations, or do, okay, and then, or do also people live off campus, like in apartments sometimes as well?
We offer dorms on campus, which would be a couple of minutes walk from your faculty buildings, and it's in the city center. So location-wise, it's ideal. And then that rental fee, together with all the utilities, that would be fixed for 1 year, which is 180 euros per month. If you rent privately, then there will be your rental fee, and on the top of that, there will be all your utility bills, gas, heating. Then the planning of your budget could be a bit harder, because when the heating bills start coming in, then like your rentals could double. Or this year, we don't know what's going to happen because of the energy resource crisis with Russia and what have you. So we already seen that all the gas prices doubled, and we don't know yeah, what the September, October, once the heating gonna start, what it's gonna look like. So we are now at this moment suggesting students to stay on campus, because then the pricing is fixed. And you need to, if you choose to stay on campus, then the minimum rental period is 1 semester. So that's 5 months. After 5 months, then you can stop your agreement and then rent in the city privately. We have no objection against that. And that first semester, then that will allow you as well to see what the city is like, see what options are out there. Students tend to share the apartments as well, because previously the living in dorms, renting privately, cost-wise was about the same. So not great difference, really. It depends where you're staying. Students tend to stay in the city center, because if you see any activities, whether that pubs, nightlife, theater, opera, that's all in the center of the Riga city. From our campus to get to the center, it's 10 minutes by, well, let's say by transportation, it's even less than that. It's one stop by public transportation. I myself personally always walk. That's across the bridge, 15 minutes, you are there, you're in an old town. So you don't really need to use any transportation to get there. So everything is nearby, and the campus as well is just there. And as for the master studies, then the selection of different degrees, that gets even longer. And as for the tuition fee for the masters, that's about 4,000 euros per year. It's a little bit more expensive than bachelor studies, but not such a big difference. And as for the masters, then many of our masters, they are cross-disciplinary. So here is that case where I was explaining that, let's say you do your bachelor's in mechanical engineering, but you know that you don't like it and you want to do something else. So if looking at this list and you know you want to do something else, then let's say in your particular case with the bachelor in mechanical engineering, you can go and study then afterwards cybersecurity, you can do business informatics, logistics, you can do industrial engineering and management, you can do international economic relations, MBA in innovation and entrepreneurship. Then there is environmental engineering. Then, of course, continue with mechanical. You can go into the aeronautical engineering, production engineering, digital humanities. So there are many different options are there that you can specialize then at the master level. As for the master studies, as a rule, it takes 2 years to get your master's. Then we offer as well many different short-term programs, summer and winter schools. We started the winter schools as well because we worked with Australian universities. For them, the winter would be summer. So they were coming here for the robotics all up till the pandemic. And then now they just slowly opened up. So we need to again return back where we left in 2020 with them.
Zane, may I ask a quick question about
Yeah,
your
sure.
master's program? So, and this may be a very simple answer. Some master's programs in the United States require capstones, either dissertations or theses, or they might have a capstone examination requirement that you have to pass. Is that program by program at RTU, or do you have a general kind of capstone requirement for your master's studies?
You mean entry requirements?
No, I mean exit requirements. So before you receive your degree, oftentimes
all right,
American
that's
universities you have to do something.
That's as well. Let's say if you are doing the professional masters, looking here